Okay, so sure. Let's see how this goes. Uh so guess since hopefully this is being sent out, I'll ramble a bit during the opening cutscene. Hi, I'm Pessilus. This is Kingdom Hearts 3. Action RPG, very fast paced. We're playing on beginner, which is the easiest difficulty. Because beginner is by far the fastest, and it's so far by far the most developed run. And it's pretty neat. Has some cool movement tech. Has a couple fights that are really technical and interesting. But we have 5 minutes of mostly unskippable cutscenes right now. So we're just going to go through them, pick up some picture memorabilia that raises our magic stat, and go from there. As magic in this game is very, very good. We're going to use it quite a bit. And we're also going to use this game's equivalent of summons quite a bit, which rely on the magic stat. But this game is a mix of all the Kingdom Hearts games. The main combat system is very similar to Kingdom Hearts 2, but it brings in stuff like flow motion from Dream Drop Distance and shot locks from Birth by Sleep. Also in Birth by Sleep, it brings a command finisher type thing, where as you do combos, a gauge fills up on the top left command bar. And as that fills up, your Keyblade can actually transform into new forms and to do different types of combos and more damage and all sorts of cool stuff. And you can also use it to upgrade your magic, where if you spam, say, fire to fill up the meter, then you will be able to cast a Fire, which is the next level up of magic. So we use both of those mechanics quite a bit, try to fill up our gauge, get some interesting combos, get some powerful magic when we can. Especially the powerful magic stuff. We like powerful magic. It's kind of a running theme. Physical combos are cool, they just aren't as strong as magic. But as we get into our first couple fights after this plays out, you're going to see a very action-focused combat. It's very quick. You have everything from KHIII of using magic in the middle of combos, using items to heal you or refill your MP, to spam more magic or what have you. First couple fights, all you can do is normal basic attacks. But after these first 5 minutes, the run actually picks up quite a bit. If we were doing a race, these first 5 minutes are pretty much always neck and neck. Only real difference is, can you do what I did there and kill a couple shadows in one combo? Because Dark Side here isn't going to take you that long either way. I personally attack the head just because the hands do mean things and they like to hit you, and I don't like it. So I'd rather attack the head and get hit by orbs. But sometimes the head just gets too high up and we gotta settle for what we can get our hands on. You better say you're good for now, or else you're going to cry about how long the load screen to get out of it is. Not a lot of fun. Guess I should also mention this game uses in-game time to allow older PS4 models that aren't Pro and don't have an SSD installed, to keep up. Because a Pro SSD saves a good 20 minutes in loads over a normal PS4. I'm doing that menu taking off pre-order keyblades because that was a thing, as pre-order stuff to promote video games tend to be. And we don't want to muddy the speedruns up with that stuff either. Water's pretty good. Slow to cast, but does some good damage. Oh my goodness. This is what happens when you try to go too quickly through menus. I'm alternating back and forth between dodge rolling and air sliding, because both are faster than running. But you want to air slide up slopes, because if you do it correctly, you can time your air slide into another air slide, and you can just air slide practically infinitely. And that's the fastest form of movement in this game, is just keeping up your air slides as long as you can. Okay. I did that solely to try to get an item, and I don't know if he gave me the item, so I'm confused. Well, I'll find out when I need to, I guess. Fire core is weak to water, who knew? So, definitely want to use water on these guys. They also drop blue orbs, which refill our magic. Which is very good, because this guy's trying to do dumb dancing away from us shenanigans. And we need the MP in order to actually kill him while he does that. Touching save point just to refill some mana, doing a little bit of flow motion movement. Two waters generally kill these guys, as long as you're brushed up against them. When you're not brushed up against them, you need more, so generally am trying to be close to them as I cast magic. Unless I know they're just going to die from the normal thing. Because water does have a hitbox as it's being cast. But a lot of mechanics are just being introduced. I should probably explain this mechanic though. If Sora attacks in midair, he keeps his height. Doesn't lose any gravity. So we use that to skip around some movement in places. It also allows us to cancel an air slide into an air slide, which is something I will do oftentimes to try to go slightly faster in the movement department.
Well, at least we can get through now.
Okay, the game didn't give me what I was trying to get earlier, which is fun. I've never seen the game do that. That's incredibly strange. But, Blue Orb is slow motion, which is here from Dream Drop Distance. It's mostly used for movement stuff. You can jump off walls and do cool stuff to try to go long distances. Gotta grab this ether because I didn't get the ether from the Moogle. You know. Is what it is, I suppose. Who needs a shield when you can just defy gravity? With the magic ring equipped that we picked up, these guys now die from 1 water and 2 hits. Which is something we want to do, so that we'll get both our leveled up magic finisher, the Wadra here, as well as the Keyblade transformation, which is 2nd form. Nice thing about 2nd form, it gives us an ability called Combo Master, which I got hit out of, which allows us to just do combos willy-nilly in midair where they don't hit people, which means I could just spam water in midair to get to my gravity finisher, which is very powerful and just sucks everything in with you. It's a cool thing that 2nd form allows us to do in that fight. A lot of the Keyblade transformations have some interesting interactions like that. So, a couple mechanics going on here. One is that your party members sometimes like to throw abilities at you, like Donald just did there. When they do it, isn't exactly consistent, but when you get it, they do some really nice damage. And we also got attraction flows. They're attacks that are based off Disney rides in the theme parks. And yeah, they're very powerful in the early game. We use them a lot in early game to clean stuff up. I actually kept second form for movement tech in the room coming up. That's the whole reason I decided to use it.
We need to get to the top of the mountain and stop Hades.
There's a chest in the river. I'll explain what that does when we equip it. But nice thing about second form, it gives us high jump, so we can jump off the boulder straight up here very, very easily. This cute little movement tech, there's a lot of that in this game. Going to equip that on Sora. I want Donald to have the magic ring. Equipping a lot of abilities on people, which aren't really going to serve much of a purpose. The blank hits in the air to not lose ground, very helpful in this situation. Because if we don't do that, we end up either in a force fight below the waterfall we just got above, or we continue on the path I was originally on, and then on that path you are forced to do another fight with some very annoying enemies that we really don't want to deal with. So, fastest thing to do, just skip all of it. Just defy gravity. Easy peasy. So, Sora's full anime now. He can run up walls. It's kind of neat. I don't know what else to say. He can just climb up walls. You know, Donald and Goofy are in this game, so we probably just shouldn't question any of it. Oh my goodness. That's where flow motion can go wrong. It's sometimes very easy to get caught on objects you don't want to jump off of with flow motion, so at times you get into bad situations like that you don't want to be a part of. Always road record, Truva. Always. So, ring we got in the river is called a water couplet. And what that does is it gives us both an ability called Water Boost, which allows water to deal extra damage. And it also means whenever we get our command finisher, instead of doing Water which is level 2 fire, we do Water which is level 4. So it does a lot more damage than a Water would do. So, kill the feet, we can climb up to the head now. Where we want to deal about a bar of damage, right there. Then we can ride our roller coaster train and murder him. Most attraction flows you see us do, attraction flows have the option to do normal attacks when you hit X, and also finishers when you hit triangle. A lot of flow motions we or attraction flows, we just want to end immediately with finishers, because the finishers are very powerful. Just like that was a fluorite. One cool mechanic in this game is that you can upgrade keyblades. So if you really like a keyblade transformation, or a shot lock that a keyblade does, you can just hang on to the keyblade, upgrade it, keep up with stats. It's pretty cool. Kingdom Key isn't our keyblade of choice, unfortunately, as cool as that would be. We have another keyblade in mind. Bulls are annoying. Armor, whenever you see armor, it means you, instead of them taking damage to their health bar, they're taking damage to the armor stat. So it means their health bar is actually completely fine. That was going to help us out here, though. Basically, all you can do is get Waterza to destroy the armor, and hope everything dies. So, some more movement, still trying to air slide off of slopes. Try to get multiple of them in a row. I had a nice little chain of them coming up the mountain from Rock Titan, which was... I'm not the best at it, it comes and goes. You can attack after a lot of flow motions, get some extra distance. It's pretty neat.
Here's our ticket up.
Say hi to air stepping. I hate air stepping. Let's see if I get screwed by air stepping today. Hey, it's one. Hey, one more. Don't screw me now, game. It screwed me now. It screwed me now. Yep, that's about right. Air stepping basically lets Sora instantly teleport to some location of your choice, which is great when there's not a load of stuff in your way. This game loves putting a load of stuff in your way. So say hi to shot locks. It's a little third-person mode. Each keyblade has a different shot lock. It does a decent amount of damage. It's based on your focus gauge in the bottom right. And I'm just going to use a shot lock there, plus air step to get over here. You can use air step in combat like that for that exact purpose. That's probably the most interesting use of it. So, Carousel is to help us when this idiot comes back and starts blowing, like he's doing now. Of course, the Magma Titan just went invulnerable during it. I mean, why wouldn't he? But water is very good against Magma Titan, which is the main point of that. And ideally, Ice Titan gets damage dealt to him along the way, like he did there, and the fight's not too long once Magma Titan's dead. As for the Wind Titan, well, he's obnoxious. He's going to just throw bits of building at us. What? What? Okay, that happened. I both blocked the building and didn't block the building. That's new. But he has to do that twice. I'm just trying to get some cheap hits in. I don't really care about my damage right here. Okay, then he's going to suck us up, like so. We play a little mini game. Try not to get hit. It's harder than it looks. Or I suck. One of the two. So once you do that, he's going to push you away. Some buildings will show up. We're going to air step as close to him as we can get. That's not as close to him as we can get. Told you, I hate air stepping. And then we're casting water. Partially because it deals damage, but more importantly, the iframes water gives us just holds Sora in place. So he's not actually being pushed back by the wind of this guy. So we hit him till we get Bubble Blaster, like there. Then hope Bubble Blaster kills him before he runs away. And yeah, that's not what we want to see at all. That's a horrible end to this fight. Because now he's just going to run away, and we're going to have to run away ourselves and cry. Because we can't hit him. That's very unfortunate. There was literally nothing I could have done about that. Most of the time, you get second form there, and second form can deal some decent damage, so you don't worry about that. But I didn't get second form, so my damage was very bad. But we got a new Keyblade, we'll equip it. It's only really useful for one fight, but we like it. After that, we get to play as Riku for a bit. Riku's whole thing is, this guy who's very familiar to anyone who played 0.2. And we're just trying to get a couple finishers. And it doesn't go by too horribly slow. So, not what's going on here. We're going to get an iPhone. We're going to get a Link. Links are this game's version of summons. They're actually quite strong. We use every Link in the game at least once. Or at least I currently do. Some people do not currently use Stitch, but we'll talk about Stitch when we get there. Gummies in this game are interesting because they're very freeform in Kingdom Hearts 3 as compared to other games. Kingdom Hearts 2 was an on-rail shooter. Kingdom Hearts 1, you kind of just picked a world to go to and did an on-rails thing. Kingdom Hearts 3, you just have a map and it says go here, and the game doesn't really care how you do that. Which is interesting. It's actually led to a big discussion in the community about what the fastest Gummy route is. What a lot of runners currently do is they go find a constellation of stars, take a picture of it, and that gives them this really fast, strong Gummy. What I currently do is I shoot this thing. It's a treasure spear. And the treasure spear drops gummy items. I use it in order to make my own fast, powerful gummy. It loses time here, saves time later. I mean, what do you want from me, Troopa, exactly? You aren't exactly talking to me. Oh, that was a split. Yeah, whatever. You're talking to Casper. You just have a friendly ghost lying around? That's good to know. Glad you have company, I suppose. So, Twilight Town, Force Fight. We got an attraction flow right away. We'll use that in a bit. But first, I want to get my Keyblade transformation for our new Olympus Keyblade. Called Counter Shield. There it is. And it goes bye-bye now. We can switch Keyblades in the middle of combat, and doing so actually stores whatever Keyblade transformation has been unlocked. So whenever we switch back to that Keyblade, we're still going to have Counter Shield. As you can see, I am a pirate captain who likes pirate ships, and things explode, basically. It's very helpful. So this next guy will look familiar. We're going to start him off with a couple Keyblade shot locks. Just soften him up a bit. See if we can get some more cheap hits on him. Then we're going to transfer to our Counter Shield. And what Counter Shield does is when we block an attack, the shield absorbs it, and then we can hit it right back at him. Which, if we do that for 2 hits in a combo, or 2 hits on this guy in particular, it does a lot of counter damage.
You see any lucky emblems?
So I just want my focus and MP back, so I touch the save point there. More fluorites for Keyblade upgrades later. Screwing up flow motion movement is fun, but we're in the sewers. So in the sewers you can see just how fast you can go from wall to wall, flow motioning everywhere. Okay. Power wilds in this game suck even more than they do in KHIII, which is saying a lot. Basically, they like to run around all over the place and do a lot of not very nice patterns. So we want to minimize that. We do our best.
They're not
And so we have Splash Run, which is a attraction flow. We also have our Wadzaga. What I'm trying to do here is get somewhere in the middle of them, use Splash Run, and hopefully kill all of them. I did say hopefully. That's why I said hopefully. Power Wilds are very obnoxious when they want to be. That's less than ideal. Again, air stepping, not an exact science.
That little feller sure seemed happy. I see it. That building up ahead.
Oof. So, some of the loads in this game are a bit silly, even with good hardware, but you know. Next gen, what can you do? This fight, we're going to do our age-old favorite of spam magic, get magic finisher, and then have an attraction flow. It's our favorite for a reason. It's quite effective at what it does. So, time to make our way back. Reminisce about how there's no hole in the wall, cry a little bit from nostalgia, and head on back this way. Ideally not going backwards, but you know, mistakes have been made. So, ingredients in this game are used to make food, which give Sora a temporary stat boost, very similar to FF15. We like food because we like the stat boost, but we don't actually like cooking. So you're never going to see us cook any of the food, we're going to buy it pre-made, because you know. America something or another nutrition joke. I swear that was a good setup for a joke if I knew how to make jokes. You okay, Troopa? Oh, sorry, dude. So, new Keyblade, Shooting Star. It's a very good Keyblade. We definitely want it. Also want our Combo Plus, ideally, and we get out of here.
I'm sorry.
Right, so it's time to build my new creation. Which is the Pessy Dodge ship, as I call it, because I helped make it and my friend Dodge helped make it. So both our names get on it. It's one of those, one of these, 3 of those, couple big engines, a small engine, And put a cockpit on here somewhere, and don't forget the ability to upgrade our cannons. And ta-da! It is entitled A, it is beautiful, it takes up pretty much everything we're allowed to use. And you're going to see we move a million times quicker now than we did with the pre-built ship. So one neat movement tech I forgot to mention in the gummies is we actually intentionally get into fights, because when we get into fights we can quickly scroll in the menu to abandon the fight, and when we abandon the fight we get all our boost back. So we can just get into fight, abandon the fight, now we can boost freely again. Unfortunately, there are 3 fights in the game where we can't just abandon fight and be done with it. This is one of them. This guy, I'm just going for the head. I'm taking some hits along the way. And he should die around 13-14. Decent fight. I wasn't trying to ignore you, Gaki. I'm sorry. And on to Toy Box. Oof. And I'm going to have to keep talking for 3 more hours. This is going to be tough. Red shrimp sign. That's all you need to know. There's definitely red shrimp sign in there. When is Salat stream? So, more guys, more water, more flow motion. Not flow motion, more traction flow. There's a running theme going on in early game here, because we don't really have a lot of the choices that we're going to get later. As this game goes on, we're going to have so many different combat options, you won't know what to do with them. Yeah, water does ruin the quality of the wood. Shoutouts to Sora ruining Andy's wood quality.
Let's head over to the toy store.
Really inconsiderate of him to do. So, I'm upgrading Shooting Star by 1 to help us out a bit. I'm also going to get my pre-bought food here. Some chocolate and some sweet bread. Ethers refill MP, so we want a lot of those because we use MP a lot. So we also got magic. Magic we can ride as a rail for movement. It's pretty neat. So we had a choice between Toy Box and Corona in terms of the first world that we did. We're doing Toy Box first for a few reasons. One, we get some nice abilities here, like aerial recovery, thank goodness. We get a key accessory that we're going to use here, as well as an extra accessory slot, so we can have more than one ring equipped. Also, a lot of fights in this world are going to be like this. We're going to be in full Titanfall mecha mode, where first person shooty, punchy, what have you. And what's great about that for us is that our level doesn't matter. These mechs are going to do the same damage no matter what. So, we can actually just kill these guys without like 2 gain levels, so that we will have enough levels to do Corona faster. That's So that's a nice bonus on top of getting abilities and stuff that we want. So now we have to find the straggler. Here he is. So the game wants us to get in that giant gumball machine in the middle. Do some cool little movements up rails and stuff. We don't want to do any of that. Instead, we're going to come along here, grab a chest, get back in our mech for some quick movement to the store. That just gave us a fire couplet. What that does is the same thing our water couplet does, but for fire magic. So it's going to give us the best fire magic in the game as a finisher, as well as give us fire boost and making our fire do more damage. And we're definitely going to be using fire. Let's put it that way. So we're just running along some vents, getting the cotton here. There's a refresher chest in here. Refreshers, or refocuser, my bad. Refocusers. That's rather unfortunate movement, but oh well. Refocusers refill our focus meter, which is the orange meter in the bottom right. That's the one that controls our shot locks. So it allows us to refill shot locks later, which is nice. Before we go anywhere, we need to go get this chest. There's a gold amulet up here. What a gold amulet does is it changes every piece of money we get in the worlds to be an extra 10 money, I believe. And this game loves to throw money at us, so it's going to give us a lot more money than we would normally get. It's going to allow us to buy more ethers and food and other such things. Okay, I'd never seen that happen, but we'll go with it. So just going to go to this playhouse and get ready for fights. How are we going to do that? Fire couplet here, gold amulet here, Sora, equip that, and the fire boost that he has. I don't want Donald casting Blizzard in here. And I'm also going to eat the chocolate I bought earlier. Chocolate's going to give us an extra magic stat and a little more MP. Here's the big scary doll. When I say big scary, I mean look at her, she's scary. Basically what we got is we got fires, we got finishers with fires, and we have hits because we want the Keyblade transformation from the Starlight Keyblade after this fight is over. Well, we got the ideal there where you get both the fire finisher as well as... So, going to get the double air guns. Going to completely screw things up and still get the kill, thankfully. Switching Keyblade to save that transformation, because we want as much of it for this next fight as we can get. Some more fancy Keyblade transformation interactions. Starlight's Keyblade transformation lets you do rapid fire, where I'm actually locked on to the UFO, so when he flew away, Sora continued to deal hits to him. This fight is not determined by damage, it's determined by hits. So what this is doing is hitting him really, really quickly with a lot of small objects, which is great in terms of trying to finish this guy off. And that's how it ideally goes, basically. Going to grab this thing for some money and get out of here. And by get out of here, I mean we have to head back up, because we now have to play video games, as Goofy so eloquently put it. Oh my goodness, Sora. Stop being stupid, Sora, and get to the game store. Come on. Air steps going to air steps sometimes. That's all I can say. But this is Vernon Rex. It's going to put us in a mini game with a mech and not a lot else. Mostly have this mech. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to destroy these gray stars, which explode and destroy everything in its path, and destroy the floor beneath me, because floor beneath me is on a timer to be electrified, and the electrification field kills a lot of these idiots. I'm hoping that kills that guy. I'm trying to kill the guys in white, but I'm getting very screwed over right now, because this guy was supposed to come down earlier and was supposed to come back down in a different place. So he screwed that one guy, completely screwed up my routine and pattern and everything else. Anyway, need to kill a couple more of these guys. And this guy should be over here. Hopefully that kills. That will spawn the big gold boss. Where I'm going to break it, have him come this way. Ideally the floor gets electrocuted while he's there. That would be helpful, but that's not happening. What? Oh my goodness. Okay, so he's just trolling me in every way imaginable. He's trolling me in literally every way imaginable right now. He's not getting blown up by our fields. He's not getting blown up by the magnet floor. He's just being a big old pain in the tuchus, which is just... I hate it. Hate it. Nothing I can really do there. A good Vernum Rex is like a 110 to 115, so that was really, really bad. But that's kind of the nature of it. I got screwed over by one of the pink guys not being where he was supposed to be, and it just kind of exponentially went from there. That minigame is very much a point in a run where someone can look like they're ahead and then it just instantly flips. Because someone's Vernum Rex just kind of screwed with them. So game wants us to hit triangle and go in a very long animation to open those doors. We don't need those doors, so we're just not going to open them. In the meantime, some more mechas to kill. Explosion's actually really hard to aim, which is why I'm doing this weird thing where I'll hit the explosion button, then I'll kind of turn my mech in the middle of it, because how explosion actually works is your right shoulder shoots and your left shoulder shoots. So what I'm trying to do is hit him with the right shoulder, then pivot the ship to have the left shoulder be center with the enemy, so it deals more damage. It's not an exact science, but when you can get it, it works out. When you can get it, it works out. That's pretty obvious sounding. When you can get it, it's very nice. So we have to go to a couple more places in order to get boxes to stack to basically spawn in the next area. The game frames it as to help us get up there. We can get up there, we just don't have the area spawned in. But I have to kill everything on all of these floors, which is why I'm being slightly slow and cautious in these rooms, because I want to make sure I'm not missing any of them. And then I have to backtrack to see which one didn't die, and do all of that nonsense that I would much rather not do. See, ideally, it just ends like that, and we don't even have to worry about it. Thanks for the follow, Avenger. Appreciate it. Now, this mech has served its purpose. We don't need it anymore. Bye, neck. We can now air step over here. Going to pick up the Buster Ring that's in this chest. I'll explain purpose of that a long time from now. We don't need it for a good while. But purple mechs' cannons do a lot of damage. Each of the mechs actually have different finishers. The blue one has the exploders that we've been using. Purple one, cannons. They blow stuff up. In a much more effective way than the exploders, mind you. So that's going to spawn in the area above us, which we need to go to. Run up our Final Fantasy cameo. And now Buzz has been kidnapped and stolen to darkness, and we need to save him, except actually about that. We're just kind of going to leave Buzz here for a bit. Don't worry, he'll be fine. I'm very confident that Buzz Lightyear will be fine, one way or another. The reason that we leave Toy Box now is because we're about to fight the last boss in that world. The last boss in that world gives us nothing interesting. And the last boss in that world is really, really annoying to fight with the setup we have, so we don't. Instead of fighting him with the setup that we have, we go over to Corona in order to get the Keyblade Corona has. Because Corona has a very, very nice Keyblade that'll make that fight a lot easier. So that's where we're off to. Just trying to get over there in our little gummy. It's a large, hotly contested subject of which gummy build is the fastest right now. Right now, it looks like the build I'm using is about 8 seconds slower than optimal if everything is done optimally. But we're still playing with stuff, and it's what I'm comfortable with, so, you know. That's the nature of a game only being a month and a half old. So, Corona. Corona's probably the most beautiful world in this game graphically. It is gorgeous to look at. But Corona is also where we first see our little Mawelf friend over here. He was the first Link in this game that we got. We got him a long time ago, if you happen to remember. And Mawel's finisher is this big splashing AoE attack. And as you can see, it kills quite a bit. And by quite a bit, I mean the entire wave. And by the entire wave, I mean we're done. So we have Thunder now. We also have Arrow. We want both of these things, but the way I do it is I have different customized menus. One for fire and one for arrow, because both are used in different portions of the game for different reasons. So I find it effective to just split it up, because we do have access to multiple shortcut menus. Allows us to fit everything we need on the shortcuts, one way or another.
Look, the flowers are growing on top of the water.
So, on to another force fight with some flowers. The big flowers here have armor, that mechanic earlier about not losing main HP. But the thing about the big flowers is that if you cast arrow on them, they immediately lose their armor without you having to actually deal damage to it. So we're going to abuse that and cast arrow whenever they show up, basically. While these guys are out, Thunder is very good at dealing with them quickly. Plus, we do get the upgraded Thunder, which is helpful. And yeah, that fight could be a lot worse. Arrow makes that fight a lot more manageable than it would be otherwise. Which is the reason for not going to Mawel spam. So, air step, like I said, it's neat when it works. You can do a lot to just skip around, teleport a bit, get to enemies you're not really supposed to get to.
Look. Sora. All right.
Okay, Rapunzel's going to be very mad at us for not doing the whole taking in the beautiful environment thing, because we're trying to go fast. Rapunzel doesn't like us going fast, which is unfortunate. I was hope that she would understand, but you know, when you're trying to be the speedy guy, you can't always be the good guy. Say hi to some new nobodies. They die in 4 fires in this fight. We also have the upgraded fire to help us out.
What that guy said.
So off we go to do some more air stepping stuff. If you don't air step, you actually have a little unskippable cutscene play. So it's nice that air step, even if it's not the optimal place to do it, will at least skip a cutscene.
Rapunzel's okay. We've got company.
So I'm trying to use Blizzard for movement, but as you can see, using it for movement gets tricky at times. In these woods, which is rather unfortunate. That was actually really poor movement through there, but whatever. These power wilds are the worst, because they can nut you. And if they nut you, then you get stunned. You fall to the bottom of the chasm, and you cry.
Yeah, it's way more cheerful out here.
Uh-huh. Now where's Rapunzel?
So, one journey through Dark Forest later. Party members are back.
This place is beautiful.
It's so pretty.
How about we stop for a second and enjoy the scenery?
Goofy still wants us to stop and enjoy the scenery, which, sorry Goofy, still don't want to do that. This whole segment, we're supposed to be following a path up where, we have a little cutscene play with Rapunzel where she uses her hair as rope and we ride on it and jump places. Instead, we can just use arrow for extra height, get up here, flow motion over here.
Over here.
This is the last one. You are literally required to do it in order to get into the next area. There's invisible walls everywhere otherwise. So, while the cutscene plays for her to get set up,
Let's swing
grab a
across the
Damascus
water.
to upgrade Keyblades later, and get ready to kill some Power Wilds. Because now you get to see what Mad Wow does when you're not spamming the finisher. Like, he's a cute little bouncy balloon, smashes things underneath him. It's surprisingly effective. Let me put it that way. Finisher will kill the last wave. And now we have Horse Urn. So, here's the thing about Horse Urn. Horse Urn is kind of as good, nice or as not nice as Horse Urn wants Horse Urn to be. There's a couple different ways to deal with them. One way is to kind of shoot fires in his general direction and hope things pan out. The other way is to use a summon. Because we got Duck Flare, we're looking pretty good for this next wave. Duck Flare does solid damage to a single target in that instance. But one more time. As you can see, if you hit the back of the Horse Urn, you just don't deal damage, so that gives us major headaches. Major headaches. I should just equip the ability. I was trying to think if I had enough MP to do what I wanted to do, but it's easier to just equip the ability. That ability lets us actually jump off walls now, instead of just sliding off them midair, so gives us some more mobility upwards.
I see some birds. This way. Wait, come back. I must have startled them.
So Rapunzel wants us to play with birds. We don't want to do
The
that.
birds flew that way, Sora.
Instead, we can go up here,
Do we have
and
to
up
go?
here we can air step straight to the next area. And we could just ride down the slide and take in pretty animations and whatnot. Or we can just, you know, skip to the end. I mean, tough choice, really. Like I said, this is a beautiful world. It's probably the prettiest world graphically in this game. Anyway, we're just about out of ethers, so we need to buy some more.
Hey, I think that's a lucky emblem.
I don't care about your lucky emblem, Sora. Stop it. In the meantime, going to equip... Oh my... I screwed up that up, but equip a couple rings. Rune Ring and Magic Earring, both we just got, give us 3 magic stats. And that's nice. Want that equipped. Best minigame in Kingdom Hearts time. Really simple minigame. The color that you see under the guy is the button you press. And the animations in this minigame, just, I love the animations. The barrel gives you some good points, because we're just trying to fill up that meter up at the top. Barrel fills up the most meter out of anything.
Keep dancing. This is so fun.
So, some more dancing. So, we like the barrel, we also like the flag that we walked past. We're going to make sure we get to both of them. Ideally, we get these in the direction we're trying to go in. Which we're only kind of getting right now. And yeah, it's a cute little mini game.
This is so fun.
You got it.
It's so much fun, as you can tell.
Dancing.
It's better than Finny Fun, at least.
To the boats.
So, fight time. These guys now die with 5 fires, typically, because I got rid of my magic boost for a higher, or magnet boost. Got rid of my fire boost for a higher magnet stat. This guy is going to give me magical carousel, which I desperately want. Thanks for that. Okay, Duck Flare's nice. Get some damage on these Dusk. Once these Dusk are dead, they will spawn a new wave, which we're going to quickly destroy with the carousel. And it should leave everything else in a pretty lowly state where we can kind of pick it off. Yeah, could have been a lot worse there. But fire is very good single target damage, so since those guys fly around, it's just easier to try to take them out individually. So it's time to make our way back to where we started. because we have a boss we have to fight, and we have a Link we have to show off. Because we've kind of had Ralph as a Link for a while now. We got him back in Toy Box. You haven't seen him yet, but you're about to. And all I can say about Ralph is he is wonderful and terrible.
Enough already. Get out of our way.
I need my MP back. Can skip a little bit of movement there.
Is it just me, or are the Heartless multiplying?
That can't be good. Hurry.
We're almost there. My shield ready.
So, really fun force fight right here. All we do, dodge roll, Mau Wow. Hit one, hit the other, and everything's dead. Now it's time for Ralph to wreck our runs.
The tower.
I know.
So, here's how Ralph works. Ralph builds towers with blocks, and his finisher makes the blocks explode.
What happened up there?
With a little bit of luck, we get to build 2 towers, and this boss will immediately die. I want him to go away. I don't want her hugging me right now. That's not what I want.
Wreck it. Knock him out. Crush him.
What?
Nice.
Do what now? I have never seen Ralph do so little damage before. Ever. That's the worst Ralph I've ever seen. Make up for it, Ralph.
Crush him.
He really didn't. Wow. I am amazed. I am actually amazed at just how horrible Ralph was. I did not know that was possible.
Nice. Blaze. Fire.
We got very lucky that wasn't a million times worse than it was. Because that tree was very close to DMing, which DMs big powerful attacks, bosses go immune, like hurt us really bad, all sorts of bad stuff. That boss was very, very close to DMing, which he would have gone on top of the tower, would have made us run around a bit. And we somehow managed to avoid that, which is insane. I don't know how we avoided the DM when Ralph did literally nothing. But, yeah, that's the magic of Ralph. Ralph can one-shot that boss, or Ralph can deal 0 damage to that boss. And that's kind of the magic thing about Ralph. You never know what you're going to get. So, just wait till you get in a run and somebody loses a minute to Ralph. Suddenly, races get more interesting. And hopefully it gives us more chances to show how good Ralph can actually be instead of unreliable stuff like that. So, Keyblade we got in Coronas named Ever After. It's very, 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 very good. And we want to use it immediately and level up and love it and cherish it and all the above, really. It's a really, really, really good Keyblade. We love it. So, this strat, we're going to do a full shot lock. Refresher refills our, or refocuser rather, refills our focus gauge. Then we're going to hit him with hopefully 5 fires. Then we're going to get 2 more full shot locks off and he's going to die. That's all it's going to take. Problem is we have to actually get the full shot lock off, and he's being very mean about it. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? What? Okay. Game is being very mean about it today. Okay then. Shot locks can be finicky sometimes, let's put it that way. It's actually worse on HDD than Pro. On a Pro, you snap to it pretty quickly. On an HDD, it's very, very easy to get like nothing out of your shot locks. So, first 2 Disney Worlds down. And we get rewarded by getting a couple more Disney Worlds. Our next choices are between Monstropolis and Arendelle, based off Monsters Inc. and Frozen. We choose Monstropolis first because Monstropolis gives us a lot of good stuff. Monstropolis gives us some magic upgrades, which we desperately want. We'll get higher level water and fire there. And it also gives us a new link, which is very, very powerful, and we want. So we're going to head on over there. So, this guy isn't too bad. He goes in circles for a bit, then he's going to charge straight at us. If you attack the head, you deal more damage. So, we're going to take some hits, just naturally, trying to go for that head. He thinks he's clever going invisible. I don't know why he thinks that's clever, but hey. What? How is he not dead? That was a really bad fight. That was weird. Anyway, Monstropolis. It's the coolest transformations that Sora, Donald, and Goofy get in this game. I mean, them turning into toys is pretty cool, but it's not quite as cool as turning into monsters. And once we load in, this next force fight is the only time in the entire run that I trust Ralph. There's a couple more times that Ralph ends up getting used. This is the only one in the entire game where I trust him. Because Ralph is pretty good at stunning and then killing the frog, and some of the floods around the frog. I will only ever trust Ralph when it comes to this one job. Okay, well, floods are going to flood. Hey, Axel. Yeah, I personally don't get the Adimon. As far as I'm aware, the route I'm doing is technically 8 seconds slower if done optimally, but I prefer the fights with this route, so... We're going to head to this gummy, we're going to sell some things... Then we're going to buy Koopa Coin, brings us back from death if we die. Some more fresh food, some tents, and ethers. So the laughing canisters pretty much always end up killing that. Then we can focus on shot-locking these frogs. I don't know why we call them frogs, it just sort of is. I'm hoping that these floods give me an attraction flow. They're being really, really annoying. And not being helpful in the least, which... typical for any type of no reset, I guess. Duck Flare works too. Would have preferred the teacups, but you can't always get what you want. So I'm going to instantly use a tent, then I'm going to eat.
I wonder where Boo's door flew.
Our magic stats very crucial in this world. Our magic stats at pretty much the perfect stat for Mau Wow to do a bunch of damage and take stuff out really quickly. If our magic stat was just a little bit off. Then a lot of these fights don't work very well. So on the grid we go. Magic stat incoming, we have the exact magic stat where Mau Wow finisher will kill this whole wave. Which also fills up the laugh meter in the top right by a lot. What a lot of the fights in this world are built off of is this laugh power. We need to make Boo laugh in order to continue the game, basically. And in order to try to make Boo laugh, you kill enemies, but the more enemies you kill at once with one type of combo, the more the meter goes up. So, Mau Wow does a lot. What also does a lot is this arrow finisher, which kills crap ton at once, so that we almost immediately get our finisher to end the fight. So, lasers are obnoxious. I'm being kind of cautious on these rails because if you get hit at all while you're on the rails, it loses a crap ton of time. Because getting hit makes Sora hover in midair for a very long time before he recovers and starts to move properly again. As you can see right here, because I got bopped. Ow. See, I try to be cautious and I still get hit. What can I say? At least you got to see how bad it is at times. This looks like a fight we have to take. It's not.
Fool's door should be right around here somewhere.
Make our way down here. Hello, Swift and Company. Thanks for the raid. Appreciate it. Right, so this world we're mostly just stuck in the Monsters Factory. So it's all about us being in narrow corridors, not having nearly as much range of freedom as we would want, or are used to throughout most of this game. Game wants us to press triangle here, go between, do some cool like shooting animation and shoot between cover, but like, no. Instead, we're just going to take our time. I'm skipping one of the best cutscenes in the game, but gotta do what you gotta do to go fast. This world has some fantastic cutscenes that I'm sad have to be skipped to go fast, but speaking of go fast, this fight. So, you know I said our magic stats in a very particular place? One reason is so Mao Finisher kills a lot of stuff. Shoutlock destroys the frogs. Then we can just use one ether and fight's done. A lot of the cutscene skips in this game are weird. You can't actually skip the cutscene like right when you think you would be able to. You have to wait. Like in that case, you have to wait for the camera to flip around on Sora. Slow motion skips a bit of a conveyor belt. It's pretty cool. So now make our way over to another meter fight. This one is a lot longer and harder than the last one. We're going to start out with Mawao. Shotlocks are really our most effective way to deal with these stupid frogs. Ideally, if we did this right, it's going to go straight to a cutscene. One flood's alive. Two floods are alive. Wow, that's annoying. But we went straight to the cutscene, which is ideal. Now, Mawao into another finisher should kill everything on screen. Spawn in some more enemies, but again, floods. Floods are being obnoxious today. In the meantime, that had a nice side effect of killing off some other dudes for us, so Frog's dead. Mawao Finisher should finish everything, or close to it. Before we finish the fight, I want to grab this chest. It's a Valor Ring. Now we'll finish with the pirate ship since we have it. This should finish the fight. Of course it doesn't, but you know. But yeah, certain attacks and certain animations fill up the meter faster. So that fight's really a matter of seeing what things fill it up fast and trying to use those. Unfortunately, a lot of it does come down to RNG, our floods underground when you're trying to do the fast thing. Because if floods are underground while you're trying to do the fast thing, it makes the fast thing slow. So, a couple things we want. We want to equip that. We want to get an ether back. We also want magic boost, combo master, and air combo plus all equip onto Sora. These corridors are a perfect straight line for blizzard movement. The only downside is we have to use more links at the start of the next fight, and how links in this game work is you have to be at max MP in order to actually use a link. If you're not at max MP, it doesn't let you. So we have to throw an ether because we wanted to do some movement. Is what it is. Take a guess how we're starting this one. We really like the Mao finisher, what can I say? That's not good. There's two moves I don't want the frog doing. And here's the thing, is you also get hit by the fire while you're doing this, so it's much more obnoxious than it looks. So, fire cores are back. They're still weak to water, thankfully. Okay. Apparently a flood survived, because that's the way this run's been going. These floods have been killer today. Which is weird, because these floods have been worse than they usually are in BBS. Whenever I play BBS, they usually don't go underground this much. So, very much not used to getting trolled by floods. But hey, first time for everything. We're going to use the high refresher in Arendelle. Going to have to find a way to plug my controller in the middle of this somewhere. Zora?
The door vault is this way.
We can drop down from here.
So... like I said, cutscenes are weird and where you can skip them, where you can't. Mao kills this whole wave.
Sora, do something! Put the fire out!
And now we have a leveled up water, which is very nice to have. It also means that our finisher attack with the water is more powerful than it was. And that leads to good things. And there's the link of the hour. Say hi to Simba. Simba is awesome. And you'll see why in just one moment. So, say hi to Simba. He's just going to murder everything, and then we're going to murder the frog. You can press L1 at any time to cancel out links, which is all I did there. Because I knew Simba's normal attack would kill everything. So, a little bit of a detour. We have to hit some floods for a bit. Not too long. But we need the Barrage Staff. We need the Keyblade Transformation. Because the Keyblade Transformation is one of the few ways we can deal decent damage to this next fight.
It looks like some kind of trail.
Okay. That happens.
Together and find Boo's door.
I want to refill my focus just in case. Things have been known to go wrong in this fight before. But, this Ink Blob is a major pain in the butt, and he just trolled me really hard. Case in point, I was going to say he's a pain in the butt because he doesn't really take damage from anything, but he also just added to it by trolling me. When he does that, he's completely invulnerable, and you have to kill the hands and waste time doing that. He can either never do that, or he can open the fight with it. As you can see, I got the unlucky opening with it. But one of the few ways we can deal damage is Mirage Staff lets you create images of yourself, and the images can shoot out this volley of magic. I'm being sure not to use the finisher, because if I use the finisher, all of these images would disappear. This is one of the few reliable ways to actually deal damage to him. Now, we're going to pray that Ralph does something useful. He's done nothing useful today, but there's a first time for everything, potentially. And he did basically nothing useful again, so, you know. That's the type of day Ralph is having. Some days Ralph is the best, some days Ralph is the worst, and you kinda just have to roll with it. Have to skip another one of the best cutscenes in the game, but, you know, you gotta do what you gotta do. Happy Gear's a cool Keyblade. We'll see it for a tiny bit. Tiny bit. So, before we head to Arendelle, I'm going to do a tiny bit with my gummy ship. Once we're finally loaded in and ready to go. So, I have enough for teeny ships, which is awesome. I'm going to make my teeny ship have 2 little engines, and that's it. That's all I care about. Now I'm going back to my main ship while I'm in here. Go to movement, add another one of those, add a propeller somewhere on there. Override the ship I have, skedaddle. The nice thing about tiny ships... Oh, I remembered why my fight before was so bad. Oops. Nice thing about tiny ships is that, I just gave the TD ship 2 engines. Those 2 engines actually help the speed of my gummy ship. Plus the extra engine and propeller I added, you're going to see just how fast this gummy ship can move. Because this gummy ship can move. It's not the prettiest looker, but it can move. This guy looks big and bad. He has a cutscene and everything. Nah, you can just skip it. And to Arendelle we go. Arendelle has some of the most interesting movement in the run when the movement is actually done correctly. So, hopefully I can do some of it correctly and we can see some of it in action. More strange cutscenes, you really just have to know when you're allowed to skip them. So that skips a surprising amount of movement. Why am I doing dumb stuff at the end of it though? That's the question. Air sliding is unbelievably good in this world because most of this world is slopey. And we can use that to our advantage. Say hi to Simba again. You're going to see Simba a lot in this world. I said part of the reason we went to Monsters first was for the Link in Monsters, and I wasn't kidding. Simba is very, very, very powerful, especially in this world. Looks like one deer escaped, which is not ideal, but we'll deal with him. So, Simba's great. Here's the problem, right? Here's the issue. The fastest way to do Simba in this ice cavern coming up is to summon Simba and then immediately use his finisher. If it goes well, everything dies. If it doesn't go well, everything's not dead, and you don't have any MP because you just used it all to summon Simba, and you don't have any focus because you used it all getting rid of the Rock Titan guy before this fight. So Simba has a lot in his hands right now. And let's hope that he does well with it. Oh god, that's the worst. So I accidentally summoned Mao. And then Simba did nothing to try to save me. And now I'm just going to cry, honestly. Now I'm just going to cry. I wasted a bunch of ethers for that to barely work.
And I think it opened when Sora rotated that pillar.
Using that many ethers might actually come back into play later in this world. That's really, really bad. But you know, let's see if I can show off how it's supposed to look. Simba, do your thing. That's how it's supposed to look. Right, when you actually summon Simba, and when his finisher kills everything, it destroys everything. The good news is the RNG is only really bad for 2 fights, because after that we can touch the save point, get our shot lock back, and now if stuff stays alive we can shot lock it and it's not that bad.
There might be something up there.
For my own sanity, I should probably start popping a tent in the cavern, just so I have focus in case Simba goes awry. But the odds aren't bad, as you can see. It's not like it's the worst odds in the universe or anything. Hi, Sora, do you want to get on? What? You died! Apparently you didn't. Okay. That's the type of day it's been, honestly. Some days, this game really does not want you trying to go fast. Who's still alive? Someone else? Are you kidding me? Wow. Okay, that was horrendous in every imaginable way. Oh well. That's the nature of a 3+ hour speedrun. Is that time is gained and lost unbelievably quickly. And that's honestly why I think this should be a race format. Is because there's so many random things that can swing wildly like that. Like in a race, you're going to be more likely to see what the optimal outcome of these fights are. Like, it's not likely you're going to see Ralph do 0 damage like he did for me. And it's not likely you're going to see Simba get completely screwed like I did there. So you're more likely to see everything successfully in action, and it's such a long run, and there's enough things that can go horribly wrong for one person or another that time can be gained and lost in a race seemingly at random, very quickly and very easily. Going to eat some meals. Oh, I also keep telling myself to do this. Copyrighted song is copyrighted. So this is an auto-scroller. We can't really speed this up.
Incoming! Watch out!
All you can really do is try not to get hit. Donald makes some hilarious noises if you get in the snow, though. Honestly, worth getting hit here, Donald. So, the nice thing about this mini game is that we're getting thrown money like crazy. And Donald still has the gold amulet equipped, so we're getting a lot more money for all of this than we maybe should be getting. This is going to keep us set for a long time. So we can buy more food, more ethers, all the good stuff.
This is great.
In fact, pretty much my whole route through here is just grabbing as much money as I possibly can, because money is good and makes the world go round. All I'm trying to do is collect money and not bonk on stuff, because I have been known to bonk on stuff while I'm doing this. And bonking on stuff is slow. Slow and bad, and you should try not to do it.
Look who's... Fire!
That's unfortunate. Wasting a bit of time going underground, but eh. So, as we go up here, we're going to run into Olaf. And, he's gotten himself broken, as he does. You know how it is. And, we have to go fix him, because I really don't know. Anna and everyone else kinda just trusts us immediately, so yeah.
Hey, I'm over this way. Huh?
Yep, that's Olaf's voice.
So, anyway, we have to go find the missing snowman pieces. We know where they are. Just gotta do some movement to get... to get him back. There's also a lot of fake body parts around the place. It leads to some pretty funny cutscenes where Olaf just has all sorts of random shapes and sizes. It's pretty good. But we don't have time for stuff like that. Because we gotta go fast. Okay. Not quite ideal, but Alright, menu time. Get our rune ring back on. Equip an ether. I'm just about out of ethers. That's a good thing to know. Grand magic extender, yes. I also have movement abilities, air slide, double flight. Yes, yes. All these things are indeed good. I did say that using those ethers would come into play. How it comes into play is I need like 3 more ethers than I currently have in this world in particular, so I'm going to have to deal with that, but I can do that. So, a lot of mountain paths are supposed to just kinda walk around. We don't like walking. And flow motion lets us skip through a lot of it.
Just keep moving. You'll warm up.
Gee, nothing ever gets you down, huh, Sora?
So, go up here. Eventually be allowed to flow motion off a wall. It's helpful when you're allowed to actually do it. Come up here, Sora will land onto that, and then we're all the way up. Instead of normally having to walk around a really long way and doing all sorts of nonsense.
Oh, right. I love snow.
So, jump off the wall, come in here, do some more movement past some dudes, and what have you.
We're back. Finally.
Yeah, I wonder if Anna and the others made it there yet.
So, time to fight Grumpy Snowman. Grumpy Snowman is sensitive to fire, and we like casting fire, so yeah, we're just going to pass some fire. And he has this armor mechanic where he can armor up and stop us from attacking his real health bar whenever he wants to, really. There's not really a place of when or how, but ideally, we don't get to see that. Ideally, we just get to do 3 of the big fire finishers and a full shot lock, and he should die. Just like that.
Big Snowman wasn't too friendly, huh?
But he sure does seem to have some kind of connection to Elsa.
So, going over here to grab the Force Ring. Force Ring, it gives us 4 magic stat, which is really nice. Plus, it gives us an ability called MP Blast. Hi, dogs. MP Blast, whenever our MP meter is full, we do exponentially more damage, essentially. It's neat. There are a couple key places we use that to our advantage. So I only have 2 ethers. I should go grab some from this Moogle while I'm over here. Which is tricky business. I shouldn't grab the whole thing, but I want like 7 to have. And while I'm in here, I want my high refresher I got from earlier in the game. And I want Force Ring equipped.
The mail.
So, going on to this next segment. This next segment is a giant snowstorm. And you're supposed to be taking cover in between the snowstorm and whatever. But if you get ahead of the snowman over here, you go do the start of it pretty fast. And then we can just summon Simba. And Simba doesn't give a single crap about the snowstorm, as you can tell. So, yeah. Very hard snowstorm to sit through and cycle through, yeah. Alright, this guy. Say hi to Skull. He is, as of this recording, probably the worst boss in the game. At least in terms of saving time and losing time and what have you. So, reason for this, I talked about DMs earlier. Skull's DM is unbelievably long, unbelievably stupid, and there's a way to skip it. It's not easy. I'm trying to start off with some shot locks, praying he doesn't do exactly what he just did, so I cannot skip it. I literally cannot skip it. I'll be lucky if I can just get some damage in. And I got 0 damage in. That is about my luck. As you can see, you cannot skip this entire long animation. I just tried out of habit. You're just stuck here watching this whole thing, then you have to go around and thunder some idiots, and then it'll make you sit through another long animation, and it is the worst. And I hate it with a burning passion. Also, you get stunned by these stupid Dark Orb things. So, if I'm lucky, I will be able to skip him doing this again. Because a lot of the time, he does this DM twice. So you're stuck here for a long time just watching him DM twice. And if that happens, you're just sad and grumpy. So ideally, I'm going to kill him before that happens, so I can be a little less sad and a little less grumpy. All I'm trying to do is some shot locks, some fires. And I'm hoping this kills. Okay. So at least we got 1 DM skip. At least. So, 2 more Disney Worlds down, 2 more Disney Worlds to go. As we're just going to skip along, do whatever. So, if you were paying attention, you might have been wondering why, when our build is so strength-based, I was picking up Valor Rings and Buster Rings and all this other stuff that was very clearly not strength-based. Well, that's literally for one fight. Literally. And that's where we're going now. We're heading to the Caribbean because the Caribbean gives us a lot of accessories we used for the end of the game. As well as Fundaga, which is amazing. So we're going to head there before we go to San Francisco. And, let's just say the required portion of this world is not the most fun. Like, once you're done with the story, this world's actually a lot of fun, because you get to have a pirate ship and like explore islands and the ocean and underwater caverns and all sorts of fun stuff. It's a lot of fun casually. In the speed run, the required segments of this world are butt. They are complete and utter butt. You can ask basically anyone, they will tell you as much. Thanks, Polar Tundra, for the follow. Appreciate it. So, the reason I had to do all that menuing before I got to this world, with the strengths and everything else, is because at the start of this world, you're immediately thrust into chasing down the Pearl. You just need a couple blizzards. It's not hard. And once you do that, you kill a couple dudes, and then you take control of a ship where it still won't let you menu. And then, before you even know it, you're being forced into a boss fight that is all about your strength stat, and you didn't have any menus in the world prior to try to prepare for it. So, we have to prepare for it in advance. As you can tell, our fires do a lot less damage than we're accustomed to. And before we finish the fight, we switch to Happy Gear. That's very important. Switching to Happy Gear means Happy Gear will be equipped for this next fight. And it means our strength stat's going to be in the place we want it to be. But yeah, we're forcing the ship. We still can't menu. If I pause the game, it's just going to have a game help option. Nothing helpful. So, then a couple guys show up, which is also not very helpful. Shoot the glowing orbs, they're weak points, best thing you can do. And it's Vulture time, yay! So Vulture is this flying sky boss. We can't do normal attacks on him, we can't really hit him with magic. What we do have is this stupid little Heartless that has guns, and the damage the stupid little Heartless does is based on our strength stat. If we did this fight with our normal magic setup, this fight literally takes 4 minutes of just holding R2 and shooting. But, thankfully, I found a way to route in those strength accessories that we got earlier in the run, so that we have enough strength here to just actually do halfway decent damage. It's a difference between this fight being 4 minutes long and this fight being 2 minutes long. This fight was not fun in the first week and a half of speedrunning this game. Let me just say that. But yeah, that's really all there is to it. Just thank goodness we sped the fight up, or this would be even worse. It's not a very fun fight. Not very fun at all. Alright, so before we go underwater, we have to do some stuff. First of all, shopping. Shopping. We need 3 of these. We're going to need them later. We need a bunch of ethers. As many as we can afford. We are going to have to change our equipment back to what they were. So we need a force ring, we need the rune ring, we need all this fun stuff back, including our ether, thank you. Our abilities should be fine, but we need to do that, and we need to change our keyblade before we go underwater, because you can't change your keyblade once you're underwater.
Getting cozy down here. Seats are full.
So over here we're getting the adamantite. That is to upgrade ever after a little bit more. We have a couple more levels we want it to get for the magic stat that we get out of that. Game, please don't make me go the wrong way by bobbing me around. That would be very obnoxious and I would not appreciate it. So yeah, underwater our moveset is pretty limited. We don't even have our normal magic. As you can see, we have what's called sea magic. Hi, can I open a chest? That's clearly not a trap. Oh look, the thing that's clearly not a trap is a trap. But we don't even have normal fire, we have sea fire. And sea fire doesn't take up much MP, but it also doesn't allow us to get any fire finisher like we would on land. Of course I got this animation, of course. Every time, without fail, no matter what I do. But yeah, we don't get the fire finisher. And we're generally just pretty slow and miserable down here. But fortunately the fight could be worse. Now, most important chest in the game. Yeah, are you kidding me? I don't know why I can't pick up chests tonight. But most important chest in the game, that is Ariel. That is a Link. And Ariel is probably the most powerful Link in the game. Probably. You'll see why when we get there. You won't see why in this world, you'll see why in the next world. Now, we have a ship, that's cool. Fortunately, we were also given a ship with a very good accessory, which is extra cool. I'm glad Jack thought of doing that for us. It was very nice of him. So, we have Thundaga, which is amazing. Got to equip it. The Celestrat, which is what we picked up, has Fire Boost, has a higher magic stat than the Fire Cufflink we had with Fire Boost, and still gives us access to our level 4 Fire finishers, so it is awesome. I'm going out of my way to kill ships as I go so that I'll level up. We want to be level 30 at the end of the game to get a combo plus to help our damage out for some specific fights. All combo plus does is it affects the length of our finisher, but with the way some other abilities in this game works with longer combos, dealing more damage like with each successive hit and all sorts of nonsense like that, it becomes very much a big deal. So we're racing against Luxord here, and we just shoot his weak points to slow him down. The ship that we have will magically get a command gauge filling up like Sora normally does. The ships get a variety of things. In this mini game, we only get two. We get Tailwind and we get Tidal Wave. Tailwind is speed up like this. I preferably want to get Tidal Wave before I reach this rock up ahead. We'll see if the game cooperates. These tornadoes are random. They aren't giving me very nice spawns tonight.
Look alive, Sora. Can't you get any more speed out of her?
6. So, oh look, masking approach of enemy ships by tornadoes. That's very ingenious. Unfortunately, I didn't get the command I wanted. You only get one of two in this race, and it's random which one you get, so... not much that can really be done. The only good news is we do get experience out of killing these ships, so that's something. What? Game? Do you want to let me finish? That's new. I learned something every day about this video game, I swear. So, now we have to fight Luxord. This makes you wonder what the race was about. But anyway, we want to kill... we want to get these orbs in order to get combat finishers so we can deal actual damage to this ship. Because otherwise, just shooting him takes ages. And like, we'll do it, but it takes a while. And it takes forever for our command gates to fill up. And we just got screwed because he only spawned one wave. And when we spawn in one wave is actually bad. Because all we can do is shoot. So he's going to be able to teleport away, he's going to be able to hit us, and this is all very, very bad. Well. Nothing that can really be done. Just take it like a man and find out where he's teleporting. Of course I get Raging Cannons after that. Raging Cannons is the best reaction command here. It does a ridiculous amount of damage. Okay, he's behind. I actually don't care about these guys now because I have Raging Cannons. I just want to get close. I just want to get close so I can actually use it. And oh my goodness, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Game! Oh my goodness. Yeah, these ships can protect one another. And when they do that, they actually push your momentum. And it gets everything all sorts of screwed up. And it's the worst. And I really, really hate this world, if you cannot tell. This world is the worst. It is the bane of my existence, and I despise it with every fiber of my being. If I could get rid of one world in this video game, it would easily be this one, and it would not be close. So yeah, that's unfortunate. I really, really don't like this world. That was the worst fight I have had there ever. So it's crab collecting time. We literally park in Port Royal, and Jack's like, "Go correct white crabs," and we're like, "What?" And then we go with it. So there are crabs hidden all over the place. We need 300 of them. There's a route everyone else does, and then there's the route I do, which is a little bit different. So the most crabs are up at the fort, which is at the top of the town, and we're basically making a beeline to that. Well, most people make a beeline to that. I, on the other hand, instead of making a beeline, go out of my way to get some of these other crabs on the way, so that when I get to the fort, I will have all 300. Before we do that, though, Sorcerer's Ring is amazing, and we need it. So we grab it, and there's an ether there, so we might as well grab it. So the shield instantly breaks these crates and instantly collects all the crabs in them, which is why we're doing it. It's very useful. We come up here. Thunder will give us mad teacups, which always show up, and the mad teacups let us collect all the crabs. And now that we're at 300 crabs with the route I do, we can just head back home. Other route involves making another loop around the islands and other such stuff. They're pretty close to the same speed. So, after we collect crabs, we leave this world. Because this world is crap and we hate it and we never want to come back. No, that's not the reason, although that's all factual. The reason we leave the world is because the boss in this world goes a minute faster at minimum with our final fire upgrade, Fariaga, which we get from the next world. So we go to Pirates to get accessories and stuff we need to make the next world go fast. And then we go to the next world to get the magic upgrade we need to make the Pirates box go fast. That's kind of how that works out. So, off to San Francisco it is. So we're going to spawn on the bridge, and the game's going to want us to do weird gimmicky stuff of jumping between cars and shooting at these cannons before they can shoot at us. I'm getting bodied by cannons, but that doesn't change the fact that we just kill them with one thunder. And then it spawns in this guy, and now you get to see why aerial might be the best link in the game. Just watch his health bar. It's very satisfying. It is very, very satisfying to do that. So before I do anything else, I'm going to talk to the Moogle and upgrade Ever After for the final time in this run. We got our magic boost now, which is also nice. So we get magic boosts from the Moogle just by collecting materials naturally. Sometimes we get it later than this. Getting it here is nice. So our Ever After is as upgraded as we're going to get it. This is all the levels that we need. And so Hero wants us to do this little obstacle course, so his crew can see Sora's abilities and learn from it and whatever. Here's the thing, his obstacle course kinda didn't take into account we could just jump off initially. He expected us to go through hoops, but you know. That's not the only thing Hero didn't expect us to do in this minigame. But we have to grind along this rail in order for the next hoops to properly spawn in. Only reason. Same reason we have to go down this vent. This game basically has little checkpoints where things will actually spawn. We can just jump off initially to skip one of the checkpoints. And now we can go skip some more. Going to air step on over here in this general direction. And then we're going to air step up. Now we can air step over here. It can then take it over here, which can take it over here, which can then finish. Wasn't quite ideal, but sub 120 is pretty much what you're looking for. And now we get Stitch. Probably the worst Link in the game. At least according to most people. I love Stitch. The only strats in this run that we found where Stitch is useful were stuff I found. But yeah, he's unreliable at times. Let's put it that way. We'll get to him when we get to him. First, we have a city to save. So, enemies on the building, as Hero said. They look like this. They don't like thunder very much. So, say hi to the Dino. Dino's here, being obnoxious. And so as he turns, I want to summon Ariel so that when he comes back this way, he'll instantly get hit. And hopefully he'll armor up here. There we go. So he armors up, Ariel shreds through the armor. And then his health bar will also be shredded very quickly. Unfortunately, we can't kill him here. As you can see, he just kind of becomes invulnerable. And then he goes to that roof. And he's dead. Hero making a big ado about nothing with that guy. I guess, like I keep saying, air stepping is great when there's not a million things in your way. When there are a million things in your way, it's not great. So we're back here at night because there's some dark cubes running around, and Hero and friends aren't exactly happy about it. So we're coming over here to pick up a magic boost. Getting to this checkpoint starts a timed segment here. We're just stuck here. We have no way of speeding this up. So while we're here, we're just going to collect some money. Might as well find some use for our time, and collecting money is certainly a use. We also go ahead and grab this, the Storm Fan, which is also for money. It looks like I hit everything already, so selfie time. Alright, so
Wasabi, can you hear me?
we have to save every member of Big Hero 6 over here. We can do some cool air steps to get to the top of that ceiling to save Wasabi first. Then Fred, we have to flow motion off these poles. Ideally, we can go from one to the other, like that, in really quick succession. Then we make our way towards the ball, because we need this ball in order to save Go-Go. See, Go-Go is over here. In order to save Go-Go, we need to hit Go-Go with the ball. So hit her with the ball, start air sliding while falling, which is a great animation. So we have to hit each color-coordinated ooze with the magic that happens to color-coordinate. I think I missed the last one with my thunder, which... yeah, I'm still missing. Not that big a deal. I had to get the magic boost chest anyway. So, Honey Lemon is safe. We have to watch a couple cutscenes. Now for some movement. We can just go straight to the top of here. Before we go anywhere, though, we need to get out of combat so we can do some menuing stuff. Like magic grabber, very, very important. I got my fire upgrade, so I need to use it. I got a bunch of magic boosts, so I need to use them. And then we also need to eat, because you gotta stay healthy. So, this boss is really annoying, because it either goes really well or really badly. And there's no in between. Start with spamming fire, and it's going to go really badly. Like, nothing I can do about it, it's just going to go really badly. Ideally, after he punches me here, that's the last time he does that, and the orb just appears and I can shoot it. Ideally, this kills. Yeah, so it could have been worse. What you want to do there is... I thought about throwing an ether before that fight for that reason, and I decided against it. Mistake, but you know. The idea there is you spam fire, use an ether, spam more fire until you get the fire finisher. Then you shot lock during the fire finisher, and he instantly dies before he can do any attack. When you fail that, he can do any number of attacks and patterns and things that are not fun and lose you a bunch of time. That particular time, he at least did the quick pattern when you fail, so that's good. So, this is Dark Baymax. It's not quite an auto-scroller, but it's very close. It's not quite an auto-scroller in that you have to deal a certain amount of damage before, like, the fight. You do have to actually deal a certain amount of damage before the fight will continue to the next phase, and you can speed it up in that way. But, like, you're here, you have to shoot at him. This is based on magic stats, so we do pretty well here. We also will deflect these at him. We have a place, basically when he's over this building, that we want him to stop running around and actually come fight us. Like, if he keeps going, we see a tunnel. We shouldn't see a tunnel. It shouldn't come to that. Although that was not very good as is. Then, once you deal enough damage, he does this unskippable cutscene. And now you're in a one-on-one fight with him, where all you can really do is press R2 and wait for him to die. And I guess deflect these things back at him occasionally. You can run away from his damage, but doing so stops you from dealing damage, so it's one of those trade-offs. Where you wonder what to do about? You can cure, though, once. You can cure, and then it has a pretty long cooldown, so, like, pray you don't need to cure again. Okay, I don't really care about his boxes, I just want him dead. And that's Dark Baymax. And that is San Francisco. Now we have to go back to my least favorite world again. Yay! But yeah, San Francisco is a really fun world. Really fun, pretty fast. It's good stuff. Yeah, it's major contrast to the required portions of the Caribbean. Because of all the required portions of the Caribbean I've showed you, I haven't showed you my least favorite yet. You're about to see my least favorite. Like, San Francisco had all this fun movement and some interesting strats and whatnot. Yeah, this world you're on a ship. And you're on a ship with AI that like to dick you around. And you need to ideally get some finishers to help them not do that, but they're not reliable. So there are a lot of problems layered on top of one another. So, anyway, back to the helm we go.
That must be Shipwreck Cove, the place that Jack told us about.
So, we have to go this way towards Shipwreck Cove. As we do that, some ships are going to spawn in,
Didn't we sail past
trying to
that
stop
one?
our way. I want to kill them for experience, but not all of them. Because I do still want experience, however, to try to make the next fight easier on myself, when you get the ship finishers, like, one more weak point, if I hit it, I'm going to get a finisher. Finishers do not carry over from this exploration mode into the next fight. However, this meter does. So right now, I'm 1 weak point away from getting a finisher of some description, which is where I want to be. I want it so that when the next fight starts, I hit one orb, I get a finisher, I can use the finisher, we can try to speed it along.
Well, let's check it out.
They're making it extra annoying to do that today, but you know, it is what it is. Okay, this is my least favorite fight in probably the entire run, for a lot of reasons. But first, let's try to hit a weak point. We got Wind Chaser, so we can hopefully destroy everything without too many difficulties. Okay, destroyed a lot of stuff there, a lot of stuff out of our hair.
It ends here.
Got another one, so we can get some more stuff out of our hair, which is always nice. Although, that didn't really kill anything, which is not ideal. Okay, so once that's done, Luxord's ship spawns in, and this is where I start hating this fight. So, Luxord's ship has a crap ton of HP, and he teleports around, and whatever, all sorts of stuff that are bad, right? However, we don't need to kill his entire HP bar. This entire thing, we don't need to kill it. That's the good news. All we have to do is destroy all the red orbs that are around his ship. That's all we have to do. Destroying the red orbs is, easier said than done for a variety of reasons. One, as you can see, he just goes around like crazy. Okay, we got raging cannons, which is ideal. We want that because it deals a crap ton of damage to the orbs. I believe he only has 2 orbs left, so we're not in a terrible spot. So that orb's down. Now I just need to get around him so we can hopefully get my 2 cycle. Guys, why can't I not move? Why can I not move? And this is why I hate this fight. This must be where the invisible wall is or something, because I literally could not move. I literally could not move. So, yeah. Said he teleports around, he doesn't stay still. If he stayed still, then, this fight wouldn't be that bad, but all the teleporting around is terrible, and I hate it, and it's bad, and it makes me very upset every time I do it. By far my least favorite fight in this entire game. But hey, if you want to know places where races can change hands quickly, that's one. How many times does Luxor teleport on you? That's a question. Can you get 1 cycle, save all the time? 2 cycle, 3 cycle? What are you stuck with? Okay, here's Kraken. So, Kraken's a weird fight. I mean weirder than the last fight weird. So, I'm trying to hit the weak point of the Dutchman from here, but it's actually really hard from when he does this. Well, he moved. So, here, Kraken's weird. Essentially, we're shooting at him, right? So we're shooting at him, doing our thing. The Dutchman's doing his thing, sailing around. We want to shoot the Dutchman's weak point, which will fill up our gauge to eventually get Raging Cannons, so we can deal real damage to the Kraken. And in the meantime, he just has these tentacles in the way that stop us from doing much. But once we get Raging Cannons, we can get the tentacles away, deal a crap ton of damage, and 2 Raging Cannons end the fight. So essentially, I want this Dutchman to stop going all the way over there, where I can barely touch him with my shots, and actually go somewhere where I can hit him, so I can get my Raging Cannons and end this fight. Like over there. Over there's fine. Assuming I can aim. Which is harder than it looks. And there it is. This should end the fight. Alright, now for Davy Jones. So, Davy Jones has a really crazy DM that's really flashy, and, like, it's not a lot of fun. So, we don't want to see it, we want to skip it. To do that, we have a very specific setup, and nothing's really guaranteed. So, he's going to come up here. We're going to do this. We're going to go ham. And this is already screwed. Unless the arrow just saved us, because what we want to do is full shot lock. And get the full shot lock off multiple times before he can touch the ground, and if it works, he's dead. Wow. Okay. I'll take it. So that's what DM-less Davy Jones looks like. If it works, if it doesn't work, he summons tentacles and becomes invulnerable, and you have to kill the tentacles. Then he goes through another unskippable animation, which summons the tentacles, and you have to kill him while the tentacles are out. And it's not pleasant. Nobody likes it. Well, I don't like it. I'm speaking for everybody for some reason. But it's not pleasant. Let's just put it that way. Alright, so all this story-wise has been leading up to an epic confrontation between Sora and Aqua, who's one of the main protagonists in Birth by Sleep, powerful Keyblade Master, been in the Realm of Darkness forever. We're trying to save her. And so it all culminates into this big fight. And before you can see how that goes, remember Riku? He's still here. Let's go do his gameplay thing really quick. So, Riku, I'm just trying to kill him before he does an attack where Aqua shows up, which I managed to do. If you don't do that right, Aqua shows up, gives you a bad time, whatever. Anyway, all this epic story that's been leading up to this moment of these two characters meeting and Sora coming to finally rescue Aqua, well, it ends like this. And it makes me very sad that that's what it comes to. Epic story moment. The fight takes like 10 seconds. It's very sad. Especially as a someone who has ran BBS for a long time and loves Aqua. It makes me sad. So, yeah, with that being said, Aqua's free. She's going to take us to Castle Oblivion, well, she changed it to Castle Oblivion, now it's Realm of Departure. You know, it's a Kingdom Hearts story, just roll with it. We're in a nice little palace-looking area. We can skip going upstairs by doing that little movement. And then, a moment I like as someone who's played BBS forever is we get to play as Aqua against Vanitas, who was a major boss fight in Birth by Sleep. Okay. So, Aqua has her own movement set, very similar to 0.2. Those of you who have played that game, or saw Violin run it in GDQ Express. But you have Shot Lock that's very powerful, you have decent fire magic, and combos which aren't the worst. They aren't the best either, but that's beside the point. It's a cool moment. Speaking of cool moments, lots of cutscenes to skip now. I think this is the longest sequence of cutscene skips in the game. Like, we have a lot of them to get through. And cutscene skips in this game are so inconsistent with when you have to do it that, yeah, it can take a while. Lots of cutscenes. Lots of stuff going on, because all the Disney worlds are done. We're over with that. We're going straight to the Keyblade Graveyard, which is where all the final confrontation stuff's going to take place. But Disney's over. On to the serious stuff. So, last Gummy. This Gummy does have a fight that we cannot skip, unfortunately. This Gummy's also has a thing where it's a lot of very small corridors, so it's very easy to hit a wall, like I just did. Although I really shouldn't have hit one there, that's beside the point. But very fast ship, very small space to navigate, can lead to issues. Really? That's sad. Anyway, moving on. Meet the big boy. Let's get up here. We can boost through the segment of the fight to go shoot this guy in the head, which is very nice to do. Because once you shoot him in the head for a bit, he's not going to last. So now we have to kill each of these little arm-looking things. Hopefully not die in the process. That would be not good. But yeah, not the best fight in the world at all. But we got through it. So, on to Keyblade Graveyard. Here's one of the fun things about Keyblade Graveyard. It starts with the fight that is totally not Thousand Heartless, because, well, it has Heartless and Unversed and Nobodies and all sorts of things, so it's really not. It's like, but for all effective purposes, it's kind of similar. In any case, there's a lot of enemies we have to beat up. And, well, we kind of have this spell that's very powerful when it comes to controlling large crowds. So the spell's going to be used quite a bit. Also going to be used, say hi to Mau Wow again. Yeah, we actually use his deflate here. Mau Wow's whole mechanic is that when he jumps, he inflates like a balloon. Then you can deflate him to dash around and deal damage to a bunch of stuff on the ground. Get to see that a bit here, which is cool. But we want to be alternating Thunder Spam with some attractions, because attractions also kill a lot of stuff, and attractions can kill a lot of stuff while saving our MP. And we don't exactly have limitless MP. We have a lot, we can do a lot with it, but there is a limit. So any attraction flow we can get that has an AoE, nice to have it, nice to use it. Okay. That happens. Literally won't let me out. Okay. So I have enough to get on the train. Before I do that, I just wanted to clear out some more guys to get some XP. Now, basically the whole fight is kill enough for the train to spawn. Then when train spawns, you shoot from above until the game tells you that you're done. Because the game literally tells you when you're done. All I'm really looking out for is experience. See if I reach level 30 at the end of this fight. If I do, great. If I don't, I have to do a little bit of grinding. So, there we go. It looks like I leveled up, and we finished, so not bad.
Everybody else.
So, some things I need to do. Nano Gears, Keyblade from San Francisco, I want it. We're basically out of ethers, which is fine and expected. Withstand combo is the same as once more from other games. I have my combo boost as well, which is nice. I want to take off the couple abilities that Donald and Goofy actually have that deal damage. But, oh, that's the ability I forgot. I was like, wait, I forgot something. It's like I forgot Glide, which is unfortunate. Because Glide is very good for movement. So, we go here, we're ready. The bad guys are all collected, we're all collected, we're ready to kick some butt. And then everyone dies. Spoilers, I guess? But it's okay. Sora's fine. Don't worry about it. In any case, Sora's not quite himself, and we have to collect other Soras, because why not? I mean that quite literally, as you can see. We are literally collecting Soras. Literally picking them up. Like this is a platformer or something. We went in a really wide switch of genre very quickly. So that's phase 1. Here's phase 2. We gotta collect 111 more of him. And to do so, we have a route, an idea of what we want to do. And it's hard to describe, I'm just kind of going to do it. And hopefully what I'm doing makes some degree of sense. But I'm just going to places where I know a lot of Soras are, so that I can, you know, very quickly say, hey, like, you come with me. That's basically the goal. These cubes twist and turn everything. Okay, these jumps are honestly the scariest part of this whole thing. Jumping from rail to rail, that happens. And when that happens, I get very, very sad. I get very, very sad for that because it screws with the routing and all sorts of stuff. Honestly, the jumping from rail to rail is the scariest part of this whole thing. But I sort of recovered. We got to the top, which is what I wanted to do. Now I have to collect some more. There should be enough down here for us to get what we need and get out. Although they're being rather obnoxious today. Some days they're very easy to catch, some days they want nothing to do with you. Though I'm actually one short, so there's one. Okay. That was honestly not good, but eh. That's neither here nor there. The good news is there are backup routes. Like, there's ways to get the stores you need without going too crazy. So it can be a lot worse. That's essentially what I'm trying to say. So we do that, and we're going to end up in Olympus. This isn't real Olympus. At least I don't think. They don't quite make it clear. But we're going to be revisiting all the Disney worlds. Not like KH2 revisits, where there's a whole campaign and stuff within them. No, it's not a long revisit at all. But what I want to do, go to this Moogle, sell pretty much everything I have. If I happen to be in possession of something, I want him to have it because I want all the ethers he's got. He's got 41 of them, that's great. All those are mine now. That's enough ethers for the rest of the game easily. So, nice little movement here. We can skip the stairs that we happened to go up earlier by climbing the pillar.
Hurry, Sora! We can't let him
Oops, I forgot that one's unskippable. So, Reaper. Here's the thing about Reaper. He doesn't like thunder. Like, at all. Really doesn't like it. And I'm going to use that to my advantage as much as I possibly can. Okay. Later, Drupa. Thanks, dude. So he said, Reaper, meet Thunder. Ideally. I guess we're doing the other strat, because Reaper's being a pain. Other strat, Nano Gear, Shot Lock, it's not bad.
hold still.
We basically have to kill this guy in every world.
Let's try another portal. Aim for the ones wrapped in shadows.
And some are more annoying than others, to say the least. What? Okay. I am feeling very upset about this whole thing. This is not how this is supposed to go.
Enough.
Oh well. The good news is backup strats are pretty solid here. This is one of the two scary ones, because if you don't kill him initially in Monsters 1, he spawns in a bunch of enemies and loses you a bunch of time.
Stop that!
We ought to search every portal the shadows control.
Hey, Toy Box 1, I already know thunders aren't going to work. So, other strats it is.
Back off!
Did he just go invulnerable through my... He didn't. Okay. Making sure.
Hey!
So, on to probably the worst one, which is Corona. The Corona one, he just loves being a general pain in the butt, just running around and being a huge nuisance. Ideally, you don't get to see that.
Back off! Back off! Strike!
Well, of course you get to see it, because that's just how runs have been going today.
Gotcha! Yeah! Back off!
That's just how runs have been going.
Hey, stop!
So, Sanfran, we do the Thunder, and then that's going to force him to go in the middle of the room. And once he goes in the middle of the room, we have to shot lock. So, this one is actually a planned switch in the middle.
Back off! Thunder! Later!
So that's Reaper. He's a pain in the butt, to say the least. Well, his name is Lich. Whatever. He's a pain. So we are over here now. This should look familiar because it's the exact same movement we had to do before. Leading up to the exact same moment that happened before, except this time things go slightly more in our favor. And we have to fight Demon Tide again. Yay! Our favorite. Our absolute favorite. The good news is Demon Tide isn't bad when you have the Princess of the Sea on your side. Because Ariel's pretty good. You know, Ariel's not bad. Ariel is not bad. Basically, Ariel deals at least in... At some point, Demon Tide's going to go in the middle, go underground, do a cool thing. No matter how much health he has left, so... yeah. So, the phone... This is a really cool moment, because essentially there was a contest for... There's a contest for people who played Kingdom Hearts Unchained Cross, which is a phone game based on this series. It actually, the story actually affects the series, you can see, and they had They had a contest for people who play the game to get inside Kingdom Hearts 3, and this is how they did it. You're literally attacking Demon Tide with players of the phone game. It's really actually pretty cool. Speedrun-wise, we're just trying to time Triangle. If you time it right, you can get a bunch of them really rapidly. Mastering it doesn't do much. You can actually move in this segment, meaning you can actually die in this segment, so... This segment can be Monka-S on crowd, let's put it that way. On beginner, you're fine. Yep, but we made it. It's very, very cool. It's a very cool fan service moment. It's a very cool spectacle to watch. Unfortunately, you can't skip any of the cutscenes associated with it, but you know. With that, on to Endgame. The end of the game where stuff gets pretty intense. So, you might have noticed I'm just going to get some strong magic customized on here. And then I'm going to eat. That's the last menu of the game, if I'm not mistaken. But, yeah, these things... End of the game's interesting, in that, fire is basically our best single target damage thing that we have. So, basically the best thing that we can do is spam fires in such a way that, they don't really DM like that often.
Let's make it interesting.
It looks like I'm just spamming one spell and there's not much actually going on. But, trying to commentate this and do it at the same time is surprisingly difficult. Because there's a lot that you have to keep track of when you're the one doing it. You can't spam fire blindly and hope to go very far. Because you have to keep track of how often you're casting it, and what your combo is, and where people's healths are at. Like in this one, I can't kill any of these guys right now. Because no matter what, Luxord over here is going to start a different phase, all his own. So what I want to do is I want to get the other two as close to dead as possible. The one that is Luxord is the one that shakes, which I swear I saw over here. Okay, it's this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this should kill. One cycle Luxord, have to be at full MP. It's pretty cool. And this is why we had to get these guys at low HP. I actually prefer killing Larcene before Marluxia because, yeah, this DM is kind of obnoxious. So I could have done that better, but... Like, this is where this run being a race, I think, really comes into play. Because once you get to this point in the game, doing these fights efficiently is not easy. There's a lot that you, as a runner, have to worry about and think about and what have you. But for someone who's just watching, I realize it looks like mindless spam. So I feel like this game being a race allows for what looks like to be mindless spam to become a lot more entertaining, because you're seeing... Because even if you as a viewer don't quite understand the intimacies of what's going on, you as a viewer get to see like how one person is slowly gaining or losing time over the other, and get a sense of how much is going on that way. Okay, so can't deal any damage, so this is selfie time. I don't really care about Berserker, I care about Xion. That's the correct photo to take. You can't convince me otherwise. Anyway, epic music, beautiful story beats, and in our run, what we get to see is one guy die very, very, very quickly. So I mentioned Stitch at one point earlier. This is where Stitch comes in. So how Stitch works is you basically make little rectangles. You have enemies inside, and then Stitch finisher deals damage to whatever's in the rectangle. These guys like to do a lot inside, very close to you, in terms of spamming at you and whatnot. So in a lot of cases, not all, he didn't do a lot to Terranort this particular run. But in a lot of cases, Stitch can be a lifesaver in this run, because he can deal a lot of damage to both of them. He did a lot of damage to Vanitas, which is something. Killing Terranort first gives you an extra cutscene you have to skip, but Terranort's DM is horrible. It's really bad. You don't want it. So I generally go on my way to kill him first, just to make absolutely sure I don't get the DM. Thanks for the host, Freak. Thanks for the luck, Val. Okay, so this is one of the harder fights in Endgame. it's really rather weird. So at the start, you can thunder twice to deal little damage to 2 of 3 of them and cause this cutscene to spawn.
Riku! King Mickey!
Thanks, Rick. So while we're in this, a couple of them are going to come out to play. For a tiny bit of time, not very long. Then we have to wait through this. And essentially there's way too much to explain while trying to do the fight as well. But there's a lot going on here. Where I want all of them to get low to at least some extent. I didn't actually want to kill young Xehanort. That was not the intention, but that's what happens. So Mickey does heal you, but the reason I got the Koopa coin all the way back in Monsters is for this fight and one of the final bosses. Because it's very, very easy to die here. Oops.
Oh, before these broken keys.
So, while he's doing this whole thing, I'm just going to shot lock him.
Return to darkness.
Yeah, there's a lot going on in this fight where you want all of them to get relatively low and you want to kill them in different people kill them in different orders for different reasons, and like there's just a lot. And I really can't explain it all while trying to do it. This is where couch commentary is helpful. And with that, we're on to the official last world of the game and the final bosses.
Xehanort has to be somewhere in town.
This is a very cool looking world. I really wish you could explore it more, but oh well. This strat's cool. There's a bunch of those guard things, and it's supposed to be an epic fight, like running around the town, they're chasing you. Nah, you can just spam arrow. Just as good, right? Okay, so Goldenort number 1. There are 3 phases to Goldenort that he goes through based on different HP gates. First one, I am going to attempt to use Stitch. What he wants to do, what Xehanort over here wants to do, I'm pretty sure I'm not going to get what I'm looking for. Not at all what I'm looking for, no. Stitch is very hard to use well there. And I managed to get it, actually. So, ideally what you want is to kill him before he does a long animation where he goes in the middle of the room and summons a giant fire pillar. It takes a while, it's not a lot of fun. It deals damage, it makes him invulnerable. Like, it's just not a lot of fun. Second phase, you're underwater, so, all you can really do is spam fire and wait for it to end. Third phase, he's basically guaranteed the fire pillar. Yeah, unless you can do a really, really, really tight, time-sensitive thunder thing, which I tried and epically failed to do. So I'm probably dying here just because I'm not trying to heal. I'm not, but hey. But yeah, he hides in the fire pillar. It becomes hard to hit him. It's a whole thing. Okay, final time. Say hi to Ariel again. Ariel's pretty good. I said Ariel's pretty good. There you go. More of that. So he's annoying me right now. So there's a lot going on here that is hard to get to. But essentially, I'm waiting for him to be idle for a minute. When he's idle, I'm going to use my Fire Aga finisher. I'm going to Shot Lock. If I did this right, he won't DM. And I did it right. If you don't do that right, he does this animation where he takes away all your power, forces you into Rage form, where you basically can't do anything, and you sit there and cry. And it takes a minute in order to actually get past it. It's a long, annoying, outrageous thing. But that's the way... That's one of the quickest ways that we know how to skip it. Oh no, I died. Everyone freak out. Okay, not actually dead. This is all scripted. But that's the quickest way I know how to skip that DM. Skipping it saves about a minute. Basically, in the context of a race is never over until Final Xehanort is dead. Because if you don't get the Rage Form skip, you're losing a bunch of time. So races are always alive until then. Which I think makes it a very exciting run to have a race in. Leaderboards use in-game time, so I'm skipping the final cutscenes. But, yeah, thank you so much for watching. I sincerely hope you consider this submission. I know it's long, so thanks for taking the time to parse through it. And Kingdom Hearts is a great series. There's a great bunch of people who have been behind routing this. Like, everyone involved in the race submission is a wonderful person who's done a lot for this game and other Kingdom Hearts games. And it would mean a lot for us to have as many of those people be represented in the marathon as possible. So, thank you so much. And to anyone watching this from GDQ and anyone else, I hope you have a great day. Please